If you clicked on this video, then you've probably watched Narcos on Netflix, a cult classic TV show about one of the most notorious drug lords of all time, Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. And if you haven't, then what have you been doing with your life? I first got to know about Pablo Escobar when I was 13 years old. Like most teenagers, I had a fascination with criminals and gangsters, which led me to Google the phrase "biggest criminals of all time" or something like that. After spending hours reading Wikipedia pages and different lists, no one else fascinated my innocent mind more than the Kingpin of Colombia. So having known Pablo since my teenage years, I have a sheer amount of knowledge about him. And today, I'm going to share some of the most ridiculous and interesting facts about the forgotten king of Colombia. But before we begin, I would like you guys to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload interesting videos like this one. So without further ado, let us begin our list of 26 ridiculous facts you didn't know about Pablo Escobar. Number 1. Escobar came from a modest family, his father being a farmer and his mother a school teacher. Who would have thought that a kid from such a humble origin would go on to become one of the biggest drug lords the world has ever seen? Before coming into the business of smuggling drugs, Escobar was involved in petty crimes like selling fake diplomas, stealing tombstones and stereo equipment from cars. Number 2. Despite being one of the richest people of his time, Escobar's money remains hidden to this day. Due to the sheer amount of it, he was not able to spend it all, nor hand it to his family. Escobar's money remains hidden in fields and warehouses. To this day, people are still trying to hunt down the treasures of the fallen king. Number 3. In the 1980s, Escobar offered to pay off his country's debt worth almost $10 billion if he would be exempted from any extradition policy. Number 4. In a 2009 interview with Don Juan magazine, Escobar's son Marroquin revealed that his father once burnt $200 million in crisp cash to keep his family warm when his daughter Manuela became sick with fever while in a hideout. Number 5. Besides being known as the King of Cocaine, he was also famous for being called the King of Jungle, which is a reference to his private zoo at his extravagant estate in Puerto Triunfo, filled with different animals from different parts of the world, which were smuggled into the country on his drug planes. After his death, most of the animals were transferred to zoos across the country. However, 4 hippos were left behind, which soon multiplied, and by 2016, upwards of 40 hippos lived in the estate. Number 6. He might be famous for his ruthless activities, but for the locals of Medellin, he was Robin Hood, a term coined by the locals for his philanthropic activities, such as building hospitals, housing schemes for the poor, and schools. Number 7. Escobar had a simple rule for handling problems: plata or plomo, meaning silver or lead. Silver refers to bribes and lead means the bullet. If you watch the Narcos TV show or even not, you might be familiar with the infamous scene where he tries to bribe an army officer.
Plata o plomo.
Number 8. Just to get an idea of how large Escobar's business was, let us remind you guys that in the 80s, the Medellin cartel was responsible for 80% of the cocaine consumed in the world. Number 9. Escobar spent around $2,500 a month on rubber bands to hold his money. Number 10. Not only Pablo Escobar has been photographed in front of the White House in 1981, but he also took his family on a first-class trip to Disneyland in the same year. During those days, he was trying to make himself appear as a legitimate politician. Number 11. Escobar's son changed his name from Juan Pablo Escobar Genao to Sebastián Marroquin because he believed that his real name was cursed by a voodoo priest. Number 12. Escobar used to write off 10% of his wealth as spoilage due to rats chewing on the money stored in warehouses or the money damaged by water and other elements. This 10% roughly translated to $2 billion annually, given how much money he was making. Number 13. Pilots smuggling Escobar's cocaine could make upwards of $500,000 per day. Number 14. Throughout his criminal career, Escobar has been accountable for killing thousands of people, including civilians, police officers, journalists, government officials, and judges. Number 15. In contrast to Escobar's son, his daughter dodges the crowd and media. Manuela, who was just 9 when her father died, is the only member of the Escobar family. Number 16. The legacy of his illegal activities started during his teenage years. According to reports, he started with petty crimes such as selling fake diplomas. Then he added the falsification of a report card. Soon, he started stealing stereo equipment and tombstones, and soon after that, he was stealing cars from the streets of Medellin. Number 17. Escobar made the Forbes list of billionaires for 7 years straight, from 1987 up until he died in 1993. In 1989, he was listed as the 7th richest man in the world. Number 18. According to a report, out of every 5 Americans, 4 were snorting lines supplied by Pablo. Number 19. Escobar's business was so diverse that in addition to planes, helicopters, cars, trucks, and boats, he even bought 2 submarines for transporting his cocaine into the U.S. Number 20. The biggest single cocaine shipment ever made by Pablo was to the United States, weighing a whopping 51,000 pounds. Number 21. Despite being a ruthless drug lord, more than 25,000 people, including many of the poor, attended his funeral in Medellin. Number 22. Escobar owned multiple properties throughout the country, but his most notable property was the 7,000-acre estate located just outside Medellin, Colombia. Reportedly costing about $63 million, it included everything from an airstrip to artificial lakes. After his death, the estate was looted by the locals and later rented by a private company to make a tourist attraction. Number 23. At his peak, Escobar was earning about $420 million a week smuggling cocaine. This made him one of the richest and most powerful people across the globe. Number 24. In 1991, Escobar offered to turn himself into authorities on the condition to allow him to build his own prison. Surprisingly, Colombian officials agreed. The result was the luxurious La Catedral. Not only did the facility include a nightclub, a sauna, a waterfall, and a soccer field, it also had telephones, computers, and fax machines. Moving inside the prison was also a defensive act on Escobar's side, with some of his most loyal guards with him. Escobar continued the business behind bars, and all this time, he was protected from enemy cartels. Number 25. After Escobar brutally tortured and killed 2 cartel members at La Catedral, officials decided to move him to a less accommodating prison. Before he could be transferred, Escobar escaped in July 1992. Number 26. After he escaped from La Catedral, the Colombian government, aided by U.S. officials and rival drug traffickers, launched a massive manhunt. On December 2, 1993, Escobar celebrated his 44th birthday, allegedly enjoying cake, wine, and marijuana. The next day, his hideout in Medellin was discovered. While Colombian forces stormed the building, Escobar and a bodyguard managed to get to the roof. A chase and gunfight ensued, and Escobar was fatally shot. Some people, however, have speculated that Escobar took his own life. The drug lord, who faced possible extradition to the U.S. if arrested, had once said that he would, quote, rather have a grave in Colombia than a jail cell in the U.S. If you gotten any value from this video or found it interesting, make sure to like this video and share it with someone who's a fan of Pablo Escobar. Comment down below on which fact shocked you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for future updates and interesting videos like this one.